In three, two, what is up, everybody? And welcome back to Zachary Reality. It is Zachary Reality, and we are live here on Monday night, February 26th, to talk about tonight's episode of The Bachelor, episode 7, the week before hometowns. We got all the girls and hot Joey in Canada. Where'd they go? Jasper, Canada. They went to Montreal after Europe. And I was like, why are they leaving Europe so soon? Why? To go to Canada? What is this? I saw some people being like, Maria for Bachelorette, Canada. They're trying to play into the Canadians. There was like a commercial. Maria? I don't know. But we are here to talk about episode 7 of The Bachelor in Jasper, Canada. Tonight was really intense. It was really good. I loved this episode. I so wish I was able to watch on the East Coast. But unfortunately, I am a Cali girl and I'm not always able to watch on the East Coast. So we watched on the West Coast. We're live tonight. I had to get my thoughts out there before I go to sleep. So thank you all so much for joining. Give this video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, leave your thoughts down below. Do not forget to do that. Also make sure to hit subscribe because we are so close to 16,000 subscribers. And my goal is to hit 16K before the end of February. So we got like 3 days. So need your help, y'all. Thank you. Hit subscribe. Episode 7 was crazy. So we are here in Canada with Joey. We are down to 6 girls left. We're down to Kelsey T, Daisy, Rachel, Jenn, Maria, and Kelsey A. And I was very thrown off from last week when Lexi went home. I just did not expect that. I really had Lexi in my top 4 for a really long time. So I really kind of thought the top 4 maybe would be Daisy, Kelsey T, Maria, and Lexi. So to say that I am shocked that not only Kelsey A snuck in there, but Rachel snuck in there as well, really had me to the floor. I think this week's episode, it just felt like with Kelsey T, there was a lot of family stuff that maybe wasn't going to be explored on the show. So I kind of ruled her out. And with Jenn, I had a lot of high hopes with Jenn going into tonight's episode, but I just thought that the kiss was a little too much on that group date. I just did. So Rachel kind of snuck her way in there. She's always had a connection with Joey for a long time. So I'm not completely surprised. I knew that they were saving her for the end in a way, but I also just didn't expect Rachel to make the top 4. And I didn't expect Kelsey A to make the top 4 either. I just didn't. I knew Maria would be there. Daisy seems like the shoo-in. She seems like the golden girl. But this top 4 that came together, I must say, I'm a little surprised, but I'm happy. I think all these girls are amazing. I think all 6 of them are amazing. Honestly, an iconic top 6. A pretty solid top 6, if you ask me, and a pretty solid top 4 as well. So let's start talking about the episodes and the dates and everything that happened tonight, because it was pretty emotional. There was so much that happened. I felt like the Maria and Joey conversation was intense. The Daisy one-on-one, the Kelsey A one-on-one. Whew. I have a little bit of wine left, and then I need to get a new bottle from the grocery store. And I'm going to make sure to get Merlot next time. I got this sweet red that just was not it. It just never felt like wine to me. Don't get barefoot wine. It's cheap if you want cheap wine, but it's not going to really do the job if you want to drink wine. Okay, so Daisy got the first one-on-one date, which I think made a lot of sense considering she hasn't had one in a while. Did she get the first impression rose? Who even remembers who got the first impression rose at this point? It's been so long ago. But I feel like it was Daisy. Who was it? Let me know in the comments. Seriously, I completely forgot. So Daisy got the first one-on-one. They went horseback riding, which was super cute. Their connection seems really great. She is the it girl of this season. She is blonde. She is beauty. She is grace. But when it comes to the night portion of the date and it's time to open up about her feelings, she tells Joey that she's just not ready to say, I'm falling in love with you. That's basically what she says. I like you a lot. I want to bring you to the hometowns. I'm all in, but I'm just not, I'm not ready to say that. And it's just a few other girls have already said it. Jenn has said it. Who else has said it? A few girls have said it. Jess said it, and then she got sent home. I think Kelsey T said it as well. So she's not ready to say it. So Joey giving her the rose and keeping her to hometowns is definitely a gamble because there are other girls who are more all in, I think. Like, is Kelsey A all in? Is Rachel all in? Is Maria all in? I don't even know who's all in. I feel bad for Joey because even though this top 4 is beautiful, iconic, great, smart, whatever, love them all, I am worried that he is not going to find his person. Like, there just seems like Daisy just seems like she might not be ready and like she might be too young, to commit to that. Maria, we love her, we stand, but she's a little all over the place. Like, she's in it, she's not in it, she's jealous, she's not jealous, she can handle it, she can't. Rachel is just kind of behind with the other connections. Like, I really feel like out of this top 4, Rachel really is number 4 to me. I just feel like she is most behind. She's solid. She's stable. She thought that they didn't have time to talk to him tonight. That was crazy at the rose ceremony when she was pissed that Maria got time. I would be pissed too. I feel for Rachel. And she honestly slayed with the milk thing tonight on that group date. Getting that milk, oof, another shout out for Rachel for sure. But I am just so worried for Joey that this might not work out for him. And obviously we've seen this crazy ending being teased and teased again. And I'm just so worried that he might not be able to find his person. I want to see Joey happy. I want to see him fall in love, but I'm so worried. So back to Daisy and her one-on-one date, she really said that the reason she's so cautious, the reason she is so guarded is because of her health issues. She's been through so much. She literally has a hearing loss. Like, she has gone through so much that a normal person shouldn't have to go through. And most people haven't had to go through. Like, every day I pray, I'm like, wow, I am healthy. I am so lucky to be healthy. If you are healthy, like, health is everything. Health is more important than everything. Like, health first. And like, she has been through the ringer and it's nothing to do with her. It's not her fault. It's just life happens. And sometimes people go through things and you don't always get to be healthy all the time, and you have to overcome obstacles. And her family has been her rock, and she's really excited to introduce Joey to her family, but she's also nervous because it is a big deal for her. Her family has been there for her through everything, through all her highs, all her lows. They've shown up for her. If Joey wants to pick her, if Joey wants to be with Daisy, he needs to know that he's going to have to show up for her. He's going to have to be there for her through the tough times, and it's not always going to be easy. But he's smitten by her. And he really likes her, and he's willing to take that gamble. So I wasn't surprised when he accepted her, a rose, when he gave her a rose. This is like the first rose of the week, securing her to hometowns. Like, I was not surprised when he gave her the rose. I felt like he's been smitten with her since the beginning. He's really excited about Daisy. I would have been so interested to see Daisy on the group date this week because I'm wondering like what her interactions are with the other women, because I feel like she's never got involved in drama. She's never talked about the other women to Joey. She's really had like a straight line, and she has never been involved in drama in the group dates. We've seen her be a confidant to multiple people in the house, but her relationship with Joey has always felt so separate, so unique, so different that I would have been interested to see what it would have been like with her on a group date. She's never gotten jealous. She has never gotten jealous. And we're going to get into Maria, obviously, about jealousy, which is so normal. I see both sides with this. But Daisy's never gotten jealous. She just seems like she might not be ready for the whole thing. I don't know. But I think that she is just the type of person that needs to see Joey with her family in her hometown. And there's nothing wrong with that. That makes sense. She just takes things a little bit slower than some of the other girls. Maybe she's a little bit younger. She's 25. Maria's 29. How old is Kelsey A? How old is Rachel? 28? Rachel's 28. So she needs to take her time. She's just taking her time. Daisy. What is going to happen with her? It's going to be so dramatic. Just sipping wine if I'm pausing. A little sip. Sorry if there's ASMR, but it's just going to be so dramatic with Daisy at the end. I think it's going to be Daisy and Kelsey A. That's my prediction for top 2 at this point. I think the writing is on the wall that it's just going to not work out with Maria. She's a lot, and Rachel's connection's just too far behind. I think it's going to be between Daisy and Kelsey A, and I don't know what it is at the end, guys. I don't want to know. I don't do spoilers. I'm not doing spoilers this season. Let me know your theories in the comments below. Give me some insight if you have some. You want to give some teases. But it's going to be something crazy with Kelsey A and Daisy. Who would have thought? We knew Daisy was going to be there, but now it really seems like it's going to be Kelsey A. So she gets the rose, and she's secured to go to hometowns. And she did tell us, I almost forgot to mention this. She did tell us, the viewers, in the confessional that she was starting to fall for him, but she didn't tell Joey yet. So I guess I can predict that next week, if it all goes well with her family, that she's going to tell him at the end of the episode after she sees the full picture. And the preview with all the families really showed a lot of parents being concerned, and everyone's concerned. Joey, how could you date 4 women at once? How could you be in love? Like, leave him alone. It's the most valid question ever. But it is The Bachelor. We all know what it is. There's nothing he can do about it. Maria, at Maria, there's nothing he can do about it. He is The Bachelor. It's too late. I'm sorry he has connections with other women. I'm sorry he's kissing other women in front of you. But he's literally The Bachelor, and he does not have a choice. He doesn't have a choice. Give him a break, parents. Maria, everybody, what is he supposed to do? It's The Bachelor. We all signed up for it. We're all watching it. Everyone's seeing it. There's nothing Joey could do but date the women and see all the connections through until the end and go through with the process. So I feel bad for Joey that he has to go through that. But it's also the most valid question ever. How could you kiss her in front of me? And I get it. I'm jealous too. I get it. Okay, let's do it. Let's get into the group date. I'm teasing it enough. I'm obviously so amped up about the Maria situation because she is my favorite. She's my girl, but I'm really amped up about it. There's so much to say about Joey versus Maria. Where do you guys stand on Joey versus Maria? This is the good gush. This is the time where we get to the ending of The Bachelor, the final few episodes. The emotions are real. The feelings are real. This is where we get invested as viewers about the connections, and we root for both of them, but we also see both sides. There's so much more layers now on these final few episodes because of how real these connections are. It's about to get so intense. I cannot wait to see what happens. Tonight's conversation, I think, was like the heaviest, or tonight's episode was the heaviest with all the women. Like, it just is getting so real. Okay, so the group date was in Canada. We have Rachel, Kelsey T, Maria, and Jenn. And they're going axe throwing. They're lifting logs. They are being athletic. They're sawing logs. I mean, I appreciate the hustle. It seems so hard. It seems like a challenge on Survivor. Oh, it seems so hard. But the girls did it. You know, they did their best. And oh, wait, Shelby is coming in hot with Leia got the first impression rose. Yes. Thank you, Shelby. Leia got the first impression rose because the date card thing. She burned it in the fire. She did the right thing. But Daisy was definitely someone who stuck out night one and probably would have got the first impression rose if Leia didn't do that. Okay, back to the group date. Good for the hustle. Good for the girls. Shout out to Rachel, like I said, for drinking the elk milk because she is lactose intolerant. Shout out to Kelsey for winning the competition and being the most athletic and hustling through. Shout out to Maria. Maria complained this whole date. Maria was a Debbie Downer this date. Maria, who is the most fun and vibrant person, it finally hit her this week. She started to spiral. Joey noticed it, and he even said when they talked at night, why can't you talk about our connection? Why are you focused on this? Maria was just not her best self on this date. We've seen Maria at her best self. She's an icon. She is a legend. Every time I insult her in any way, I'm going to also hype her up at the same time, just because I was so frustrated watching her because clearly she was upset. She was going through the motions and she just could not get through this group date. And it was really frustrating for her, specifically when Jenn pulled Joey aside to kiss her, whatever, during his interview. Jenn, my girl Jenn, who I also love. Girl, that was too much. That was too much. I loved last week when Jenn taught him piano in front of the other women. It got some conversation online. She got some heat for it. Like, how are you going to do that in front of the other women? That's kind of bold of you. But you know what? There's only one piano. That's where it is. Deal with it. This was too much. He was in the middle of an interview. There was other girls around. It was not the time, not the place. I would love to make out with Joey all day as well. If that was so easy, Joey is so cute. Everybody wants to make out with Joey, okay? Jenn, that was not the time and place to do that. And it just kind of really rubbed Maria the wrong way. I think Kelsey T and Rachel understand that it's The Bachelor. So Maria should understand that too. But also, it's like at this point, there's only so many people left. Like everyone knows that everyone likes him. So it's just like, please just save it. Like, just save it. So I thought Jenn shouldn't have done that. It really ticked Maria off, but Maria had a whole other issue of her own. So we get to the night portion of the group date, and everybody kind of talks to Joey and pulls him aside to get their moment. Jenn goes first, and she shares that she comes from a Vietnamese family. So her mother might not completely understand what she's been through growing up in America. She might be new to the cameras in the process of The Bachelor. It might be a lot for her. It just seems like it's going to be foreign for her. But also, she's never brought anyone home. She's never introduced a guy to her family. I think Joey obviously can overlook her family background. That's what makes Jenn so special. Of course, like, that's not a problem for him. Like, he's probably still just as excited to meet her family, no matter if they are from another country or not. Like, that doesn't matter. But I think the fact that she's never introduced someone to her family maybe got Joey a little nervous. You know, she's 25, she's young, but that could have got Joey a little nervous. That no one ever has met her family, you know, that's a big deal. It just makes it a little bit more real. Rachel, she had a pretty good moment with Joey. She showed him a picture of her family. Notice how Rachel is also from Hawaii, which is where Joey has lived for a couple years. He grew up in Pennsylvania, but he moved to Hawaii to play like tennis with his uncle. That's a connection. I think Joey's probably so excited to go to Rachel's hometown next week and see her family and go back to Hawaii and see if he really does want to see himself there. I loved their conversation. Kelsey T also had a really heavy one-on-one last week with her family, talking about how her dad, you know, kind of what did he do? He just kind of stopped a relationship with her when she went to college and pursued theater. We learned a lot about Kelsey T this week, okay? She was in the Barbie movie. She was literally in the Barbie movie. She's an actress. She pursued musical theater. She went to college in California. And she also was a Jehovah's Witness. Her dad is a Jehovah's Witness. Her family was Jehovah's Witness. She was a Jehovah's Witness. She broke away from that to pursue theater acting and just kind of go off on her own. And if Joey went to her hometown next week, she kind of explained that her dad maybe wouldn't be there. Her dad doesn't know where she is. Her dad probably wouldn't approve. I don't know if Joey would get to know all of the dynamics about her family on her hometown. I think it could have been very overwhelming for him and could potentially have played a part in why he sent her home. I think Joey understands and respects her for who she is. But I also don't know if she's been able to navigate a relationship with her family and how that looks. And that could be overwhelming for her as well. I think Kelsey T and Joey have a lot of respect for each other, and I think are really good friends at the end of the day. But I just don't know if their worlds were able to collide. And I think that's what he got from this conversation, and the clarity he got from this conversation with Kelsey T, and the clarity he got from this conversation with Jenn, where he realized that it might not be the right fit. And I think this is why he canceled the cocktail party and why he also pulled Maria aside, because they obviously had a lot of drama that he needed to clear that up, because I think his decision was truly made up this night. And I think or maybe, you know, that's why he couldn't hand out the group date rose, because he needed time to think about things. He needed time to sit on things, process these heavy conversations, which were really intense and gave a reality to what hometowns, what real life would look like if Joey moved forward with each of these women. These were the heavy conversations we saw on tonight's episode. And these are why Joey made the decisions he made, because he realized what it would look like with each of these women and where he could picture himself and a life that he could create with them. And he has to make these tough decisions. And he had a conversation with Maria tonight, which was super, super intense. Maria came in hot. My girl Maria, she came in hot. She was like really pissed off about how she had to see Jenn kiss Joey. I think I said this earlier in my TikTok. That was Jenn's fault. She kissed him. That's not Joey's fault. Sorry. Also, Maria, everybody else is going through the same thing as you. Rachel was there, Kelsey T, Jenn. They all had to see the connections be made. So sorry, Maria, that this is hard for you, but like, it's also hard for all the other girls. And as I was saying earlier, to my point, like Joey, he's the Bachelor. What is he going to do? Sorry. Maria started the conversation off by saying that she loved and she was never bothered by him dating other women because she really wanted to see him explore those relationships to the fullest. She really wanted to see him, date all the other girls so that she knew at the end if he picked her, it was real. She supported him dating other women. She wanted to see that. But this week, it really just got to her. And that happens. And I understand. And it's The Bachelor. And it's hard. It sucks, right? So she started off expressing that to him. And she was really triggered by the Jenn kiss, which was not Joey's fault. And Joey clapped back. And he said, what do you want me to do about it? I'm The Bachelor. I want someone to choose me. I have fears as well that someone's not going to choose me. The foreshadowing is crazy. I don't know what's going to happen exactly, but obviously we all see Twitter. We all see theories online. The foreshadowing is coming. I don't understand it yet because I haven't seen the finale, but I just can tell that every conversation there's foreshadowing. So Maria, Joey, they have the conversation. It gets really heated. Maria threatens to leave. She threatens to leave the show because this is just too much for her. She takes a moment. She talks to a producer. She cries. Joey has a moment. Clearly, this was like the longest conversation of the night. It really occupied a lot of the group date, or maybe it was just what was shown because those other 3 conversations he had were much more like 4 minutes, where with Maria, it felt like a 20-minute conversation, at least for the viewers, for us to see. So Maria freaks Joey out because he really wants to make sure that she's here fully because his hands are tied. He's the Bachelor. He needs to see this through. So she takes a moment. She comes back and she says, you know what? I overreacted. I was wrong. You're right. I see things now, and I just needed to get that out. And Joey was like, I love the honest communication. Don't apologize for being yourself. And I also agree with this. Like, Maria needed to let that out. So yeah, I'm giving her a hard time. And Joey, she was giving herself a hard time, but she also needed to live her truth, and she was authentic and she was honest. And she just said it how she felt. She said how she felt. So what is she going to do? So Joey forgave her. I mean, obviously he still was nervous and cautious because he didn't want to let his guard down and, give her, give more. He didn't want to give more to the relationship if it was going to hit a dead end. He didn't want to feel like, he just didn't want to feel like he was giving something that was going to have a roadblock. So he was really nervous. And we obviously see that he pulled her aside again at the rose ceremony to talk again about this because this is such a serious, week, and this is hometowns, and Joey already made up his mind. He wanted to meet Maria's family. If she didn't have to do all that because she was already going to the top 4, and this is the last group date. Maria, this is the last group date. The next date is a hometown, then it's a one-on-one fantasy suite, one-on-one proposal. Like, this is it. So it's just like, I know she's hitting her breaking point, but it's like, this is it. This is the last thing. So they were able to talk things through. Okay, Bittersweet Coffee comes in and she says, Maria maybe is used to getting what she wants in real life because of her big personality. Oh, yeah. Let me just say, before I even get to it, when she said, remember when she was like, I'm not going to kiss you because you kissed the other women? And then she kissed him anyway. That is so messy. That was so messy. That was flirty. I could see myself doing that. That's like, it was kind of hot, but it was also kind of immature at the same time. And it was kind of like, oh my God. That was so messy of her. I love her and Joey's connection, but Joey was so frustrated this week because she truly was like talking about her insecurities so much. And then she's had drama with the other women in the past. So it was just like, he was getting frustrated that Maria still wasn't focusing on what they have. And he was trying to reassure her as best as he could. And this is why I am 100% team Joey after tonight's conversation, but I'm glad Maria came to her senses, but they were able to find resolution by the end of the group date. And he didn't give out a rose, as I said. Who do you guys think would have got it? I thought Rachel was going to get it because I kind of was tipped off that Jenn and Rachel were going home. And then I just thought things were too heavy with Maria. So I thought Rachel was going to get the group date rose. I thought she maybe deserved it for the elk milk. Like I said, everybody deserved it for different reasons. Even Jenn, even though I gave her a hard time, she still put herself out there and kissed him. So it's like everyone deserved the group date rose for different reasons. Except Maria, because she just had a meltdown. But it's okay. So then we get back to the house, and Daisy and Maria and Jenn kind of have a conversation, expressing their feelings. They gave each other insight. It's pretty intense, but Kelsey A is now on her one-on-one date. So let's talk a little bit about that. So they're in Canada. They're going cold plunging. So they're going into a swamp, a lagoon, an ice cold water plunge. Ugh, that sounds awful. It sounds freezing. I don't want to do that. How hot is it outside in Canada? Like, does it feel refreshing? Joey said, like, the body heat of Kelsey made it more fun. And like, obviously it's so cool that they were able to do that together and overcome something. Like overcoming an obstacle is like growing with a person, right? It's like dating, putting your relationship to the test. So it was cool that they got to do that together in Viking gear. Obviously everyone thinks Joey is so hot, and he is. And they also kissed in a sauna, which was also hot. And this kind of just solidified her spot in the top two. During the night portion of the date, she opened up about her mom passing away from cancer. Her dad wasn't around much when she was younger because he was working so much. She has 4 siblings, so she's one of 5. She's been through so much. I couldn't help but cry on this one-on-one date. I could not help but sob, cry. It was just so emotional. Kelsey A has been through so much. I feel so bad for her, and I love how strong she is and how close she is with her brother Mateo. And she said she's so excited for Joey to meet her dad. I'm glad that he gave her a rose. I still think her connection isn't, I don't know. I think he was going to pick Daisy. Is he going to pick Kelsey? Oh my God, I don't know. What's going to happen at the end? I can't wait to see. There was so much foreshadowing in the conversation because other than the emotional stuff, which really pulled out my heartstrings and made me tear up, you know, there was some foreshadowing about what she was nervous about for the engagement, which made me really nervous for her and what's to come. So what does everyone think? He picks Daisy, she says no, and then he goes back to Kelsey A. Is that what people are saying online? Is that what people think? Because I just don't think he's going to pick Rachel or Maria. Also, like next week, we're going to get a Women Tell All teaser potentially, or like a mini teaser. We might get teased about it because that should be coming after Hometowns before Fantasy Suites. Bittersweet Coffee says they did the same polar plunge in Sean Lowe's season where Tiara had hypothermia. Yes, I do remember that. That was also a group date, so a little different than Kelsey A's one-on-one with Joey. She gets the rose, so now we're going into the rose ceremony, and there's 2 girls saved, Kelsey A and Daisy. So it's down to Rachel, Jenn, Kelsey T, and Maria, and this is especially intense because nobody got a group date rose, and the cocktail party was canceled. And when Joey came in there and asked Maria for extra time, I mentioned this before, Rachel was all of us. I thought we didn't have time to talk to him tonight. I would be just as mad as Rachel because that is so annoying. Maria, like, of course. But, like, Maria just has the most drama and the most conversation. And it's because Joey was sure he was keeping Rachel tonight. That was already a given, Rachel. But he wasn't sure he was keeping Maria. So he had to kind of finish the conversation and get that reassurance. And he needed to hear from her that she was 100% in and she was fully in. And Maria owned her mistakes. She owned her insecurities. She communicated how she felt and they were able to work through it. And he kept her. He gave her the rose, which means that Kelsey T and Jenn were going home. I felt super bad for them based on their exits. At the rose ceremony, it just felt so quick, so sudden. Usually at the top 6, there's like more of a conversation. He brings someone out on a bench and talks to them. Maybe we won't see that till the final 4. I can't wait to see those breakups. That's always like the most emotional. When I get so invested, I'm like, that's such raw TV. I just felt like they deserved a little bit more of an explanation, of a conversation. Like to think that they didn't get a cocktail party and then even a conversation when they were leaving just felt really bad. Oh, Tennis Barbie says, off topic, we need longer commentary for Love is Blind. Okay, guys, I was supposed to do a Love is Blind recap with Arena from Love is Blind season 4, and she got caught up doing some things today with her car. So she said, we're going to do it tomorrow. So come tomorrow to my podcast, to my channel. Right now it's set for 4 p.m. PST. I'm going to do a live with Arena, Love is Blind alum, to talk about season 6. So stay tuned. I feel bad for Jenn. A lot of people are saying Jenn for Bachelorette. I'm down. I don't know. I just felt like the kiss thing. I was so mad. I was like, no, Jenn. It just felt like there was like, even Joey, I just felt like wasn't even into the kiss with the interview. Like he was in the middle of interviews. You know that he has to do interviews. It's a long day. Everybody wants to do their interviews so they can go home, they can eat, they can move on. Like I just felt like the kiss turned him off. And that was like the deal. That was the deciding factor. But I really enjoyed watching Jenn on the show. She was one of my favorites. I'm going to miss her a lot. And I can't wait to see her at the Women Tell All. Can't wait to see her on Paradise. Kelsey T, we kind of talked about earlier their conversation. I was sad to see her go as well. She deserves love. She's been through a lot. She's beautiful. She was so respectful to everyone throughout this process, throughout this journey. She truly is mature. She's independent. Kelsey T deserves to find love as well. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a Bachelor in Paradise this year. So maybe next year. I do want to see a lot of these women on the screen again and continue to follow their love stories and their journeys. I did give Kelsey T some flack on Twitter because her Instagram is like all circles. So did you guys see her Instagram? It's like literally all circle images. It's just like a mind F when you are used to seeing all squares. So we're down to 4. We are down to 4. Joey reassures all of the women that they all deserve to be here and that he is so excited to meet all their families. Daisy, Maria, Kelsey A, Rachel. So I think Daisy's from Minnesota. Her family is going to be super wholesome, cute. I think her mom is going to give Joey a tough time. And I think it's going to be a deciding factor. I hope that Daisy tells Joey at the end of the date that she's falling for him so that he can secure her for fantasy suites. Maria, super excited to see her hometown with her dad. Probably most excited to see Maria's hometowns out of all of them. Maria reminds me a lot of Corinne from Nick Viall's season. I am super invested to see the relationship between Joey's dad and, Maria's dad and Joey. It's going to be an amazing hometown. It's going to be great TV. There obviously are a lot of rumors online about when Maria goes home and if it's next or maybe the week after. So I don't know what could potentially go wrong on her hometown that could potentially send her home. Like I said, I don't know. This week, I think with Maria, it was a lot. And I think that Joey is maybe doubting their connection or doubting that she's fully in it after she almost left. So, they had a rough week. It's going to be pieces to pick up and a lot for them to kind of see what happens next. But I think they have a lot of fun together. I think with being on Maria's home turf, you're going to see the best Maria. You think you're going to see the best all of them. But I think you're going to see Maria in her homeland. And I think it's going to be so fun. And I think it's really going to see, Joey's going to see Maria for Maria. So he's going to decide right then and there if it's like a best friend that he's just so obsessed with, or if it truly is his potential partner. And I think I'm leaning towards just a best friend that he could just have fun with, like the best girlfriend he ever had, like the one that got away, but just wasn't the one. Could that be Maria? Oh, I can't wait to see her hometown. I can't wait to see everyone's hometown. But I think specifically Maria and Daisy's I'm most excited about. Kelsey A is from New Orleans. I'm super invested in her family after tonight's one-on-one. I'm rooting for her. I think she has a beautiful family. I haven't even seen them yet, but I just think they're going to pull at our heartstrings. So I can't wait to see all the siblings dynamic. And I'm sure it's going to be a really emotional conversation between Kelsey A and Joey. Kelsey A's dad and Joey. Hawaii is going to be fun for Rachel. The budget is budgeting going to Hawaii. It's going to be a lot for Joey. I think we'll see Joey in his home turf where he goes surfing and stuff. I can't wait to see what they do. Rachel's mom seemed not about it in the preview. Rachel's mom seemed a little hesitant. Tennis Barbie coming in saying, I like seeing Joey get interrogated by the dads. Yeah, I like that too. But I also just want to give Joey some grace because he's the Bachelor. He signed up for this. Everybody knows that they're on the Bachelor. He has to meet 4 families. He has to date multiple women. He has to do the show. He has to do his obligatory things as the Bachelor. So it's just give him grace. So I like when they're tough on him as well, but I just want people to give him grace because his hands are tied with so many situations. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I think Rachel and Maria are on the chopping block. I think it's hard to tell until we see the dates and the hometowns. I'm so excited to see what happens. I wish that there was an episode on tomorrow. I get so invested and I really loved the episode. So I'm going to leave it off there. Thank you all so much for tuning in live tonight. Thank you all for listening the next morning. Thank you all for giving this video a thumbs up, commenting your thoughts down below, subscribing, all of the things. And obviously we will be in touch very soon with more content, more recaps, more interviews, and more surprises. So I will chat with you guys later. Thanks for watching. Ta-ta for now. Bye.